7 countries who have benefited from the war in Europe. Russia's invasion has devastated Ukraine. Millions of people in Africa and the Middle East are at a risk. Ukraine was the biggest grain exporter for these regions. The human cost is drastic, but some countries have emerged as geopolitical winners. 1. United Arab Emirates. The UAE has not sanctioned Russia. It has long been popular as an oligarch playground. The country has seen a huge bump in Russian investment. Russians have become the top buyers of property in Dubai. The Dubai Marina is now full of Russian-owned super yachts. The UAE also has a robust and non-transparent financial system. It's used by Russian businesses to bypass sanctions. 2. Saudi Arabia. The Saudis are reaping oil benefits. Last October, Riyadh cut oil production. It steered the other OPEC members to do the same. With Russian oil sanction, it created a deficit. Oil prices skyrocketed. In 2022, Middle Eastern oil exporters added $1 trillion in revenues. The Saudis have also benefited politically. Joe Biden promised to get tough on the Saudi royal family, but now he doesn't want to alienate America's biggest Gulf ally. 3. Venezuela. The war has helped Nicolas Maduro get back into the oil game. The U.S. doesn't recognize Maduro's legitimacy, but Venezuela controls the world's largest oil reserves. With global oil prices on the rise, they may be crucial. In November, Chevron was allowed to resume extraction in Venezuela. The U.S. government has also extended licenses for 4 other companies. All this brings in much-needed cash for Venezuela's flailing economy. 4. Turkey. Turkey has refused to join international sanctions. It became the #1 tourist destination for Russians. Turkey also granted residence permits to 118,626 Russians. Last year, Russians were top buyers of Turkish real estate too. More than 1,300 Russian-owned businesses opened in Turkey in 2022. That's 8 times as many as in 2021. Turkey's exports to Russia grew as well. The country is also importing more Russian oil than ever. The Azerbaijani-owned Star refinery is a major importer. After it restarted Russian crude imports, they reached a peak. More than 80% of Turkish oil comes from Russia. 5. Armenia. Russians fled to Armenia to escape the draft. Most of them were skilled professionals. As a result, Armenia showed a 12.6% GDP growth in 2022. That's one of the highest increases in the world. Russians transferred $1.75 billion to Armenia last year. That's an equivalent of 8% of its entire pre-war budget. 6. Georgia. The situation in Georgia is similar to Armenia. The country received around $3.6 billion from Russians last year. The money came in via money transfers, tourism, and exports. That's 14.6% of the Georgian economy. Georgia's GDP grew by 10.1%. Russia invaded and partially occupied Georgia in 2008, but last year, flights resumed between the two countries. Property prices in Georgia rose 210%. Russian immigrants opened 45,000 bank accounts in Georgia. 7. Poland. Poland has opened its borders to Ukrainian refugees. About half of them have found work. Ukrainians work in logistics, industry, agriculture, and construction. Many of them are skilled professionals. Ukrainians paid around $2.4 billion in Polish taxes last year. That's more than Warsaw's financial aid to Ukraine. More than 15,000 Ukrainians set up small businesses too.